Alright, chapter 25 is fixed poetic forms. There's quite a few different poetic forms we're going to go over in this video, so let's go ahead and get started on it. Fixed form and open form, just saying literature is different shapes. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can write a poem, there's not, it doesn't have to qualify and do certain different things that you want it to do. You can do it basically free verse any way you want to do it. Like open form is a free type of free verse, and then a fixed form is like a set type of syllables, a set type of stanzas, or anything like that. And then there's building blocks of form. There's different types of it. You have a line, blank verse, and stanzas, which I just went over and talked about. Let's see. The first type of fixed form is a sonnet. The sonnet is it's like a little song, little sound that you're reading. It's a 14-line poem. That's in a type of rhyme. And in my example is Elizabeth Barrett Browning's "How Do I Love Thee Country, How Do I Love Thee, Let Me Count the Ways." And it's a 14-line stanza. 14 lines, 2 stanzas, 8 lines in the first one, and 6 lines in the second one. I didn't want to read it. I've read it already, and it abides what a sonnet is portrayed as. The next one is a villanette. A villanette is a much more rigorous formal exercise than the sonnet, consisting of 19 lines and only having 2 rhymes. And my example of that is the Dylan Thomas is Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night. It has 19 lines in it, and it only rhymes with 2 different words, and the whole thing, the end rhyme scheme, is with 2 different words in it. The next one is Sestina. It consists of 6 stanzas and 6 lines each, which is going to be 36 total lines in the whole thing. And as my poem for the Sestina, it is actually written Sestina. There's not a Elizabeth Bishop writing of Sestina. It's 36 lines, and it basically is the explanation of what type of poetry it is. The next one is the Pantom. It is a kind of variation of the villanette. It has line groups, and then it can be as many or as few stanzas at once. So it's just like a little different variation of a villanette. And my example of that is the Erika Funkhauser, the first Pandom of Summer. It has a total of 19 lines, and then the first line repeats the second line of the preceding one, and the third line repeats the last line in each stanza. The next one is the haiku. It is a Japanese 17 syllables and 3 lines structure stanza. And my example of that is the Matu Bashu, the deep autumn. It says, "Deep autumn, my neighbor, how does he live? I wonder," which basically fits the description of what a haiku is. The epigram are very short, often poems that are on a single subject. So they're basically just talking about one type of thing, and the whole thing. They're not going to use hyperboles or anything different like that. They're just going to go straight forward and talk about the one thing. And they're really, really short. And my example for that is the A.R. Ammons one, Small Song. "The reeds give way to the wind and give the wind away." The next one is a limerick. Limerick is originated in the English language. It's a little humorous one. It's a little slightly different than all the rest of them because it has a slight little humor in it. And my example of that, it was the Edward Lear. "There was an old man with a gong. There was an old man with a gong who bumped it all day long. But they called out, 'Oh Lord, you're a horrid old bore,' so they smashed that old man with a gong." So it's kind of funny about how it finishes up like that. The elegy is a poem of lamentation, memorialization, the dead, or contemplating some nuance of life melancholy, which is basically you're willing to do something one way just to do it another. Like, you're willing to do it one way even though it may short term something else. And my examples as a houseman to an athlete dying young. So an athlete sacrifices himself because they know they're going to die young. And then the last one is the ode. The ode is no longer obliges to the poet, rhyme scheme, or anything like that. It's basically like free of anything that you want to write about. And then my example of that is the Percy by Shelley, which is the Ode to the West Wind of the poem. And that is it for chapter 25, fixed poetic form.